Welcome everybody to another ZASGcast. I of course am your host ZASG, and we're going to be checking out a replay between the lovely Team Liquid's Sheth, the lovable beast himself, and Complexity's Drewbie. Now as far as I'm aware, this is from the ladder. I can't guarantee that, but it came from a replay pack on behalf of Team Liquid. So shout out to Team Liquid, and they're supplying lovely replay packs, and of course Sheth for putting it together. So let's get stuck into it and see who can maybe take out the win here. We're looking in our red team. We've got LiquidSheth down in the he's a star, ladies and gentlemen. Drewbie, happy to see him. Always good when you meet when you meet up with other professional gamers on the ladder. And we have Drewbie spawning in our 12 o'clock position. It's going to be interesting to see what each player decides to go for, whether we're going to be seeing some high amounts of aggression, and of course Sheth sending out his Overlord early, going to this position here, which, okay, it's the fastest possible route for an Overlord to take. I think personally it's better off to go this way, because then by the time your second Overlord gets here, you scout two bases instead of one really, really fast and one medium slow. Drewbie starting his wall off, of course, which is essential. Extremely essential against a Zerg player, otherwise he's going to run in with a bunch of Zerglings and probably kill you off the bat. Always a sad way to go. Sheth just droning up. He'll probably be going for a early expand on 15, which is pretty standard in the Zerg vs Terran matchup. Drewbie looking like he'll be getting ready to chuck his barracks down in a second. Both players having a good old hearty conversation before they start killing each other. And pretty standard openings from both players so far. I imagine Sheth will be jumping down to make his hatchery in a second. He's on 15, which is about when most people tend to start building their hatch. And of course then there goes the drone heading down to chuck that hatch down, and there it is. So standard to double hatchery opening. Be interesting to see whether Drewbie decides he's getting gas, so there's a good chance we'll be seeing the standard Hellion reactor opening, just to try and put on some early pressure on Sheth, and it really punishes you as a Zerg player if you're not on top of your game. Very quickly kill all your drones off and leave you absolutely crippled. And there we see the tech lab coming down, so we're actually going to see some Reapers today. Really nice. Might be seeing the Bunker Reaper harass, which is very potent if done well. And I know Drewbie is fairly effective with it, so we'll hopefully get to see some very crazy early aggression from Drewbie. And there's the first reactor coming up now. LiquidSheth, of course, has no idea this is going on yet. So at this stage he's building his spawning pool. The question's going to be, is he going to have queens up? Probably not. Is he going to have the number of Zerglings he needs? Because Reapers can harass and kite a Zergling without speed for a very long time. Sheth just trying to make sure that there's no silly bunker harass going on here, so he chases this little SCV all the way home, but Drewbie's a little bit too good for that. And we see one Reaper coming forward, and then Drewbie going straight into Marine production. So he's just going to go for a little bit of harass. Is he going to be able to pick off a few drones? He's got a good amount of Zerglings at the time. And he's going to have a little bit of difficulty trying to do damage in through here because it's such a small base. You haven't got a lot of kiting room off the creep. Those Zerglings are just so much quicker on the creep. So LiquidSheth denying that very well. Drewbie just playing it safe. He's not wanting to sacrifice too much. And yeah, he's going to pick off a few Zerglings. 1, 2 dead. Shoot, bang, bang, dead, as we've just seen. And Drewbie going into a fast expand as well, reasonably fast anyway. And we're seeing the factory coming up on the tech lab, so we'll be seeing some tanks into maybe some early pressure, maybe a 1-1-1, a late 1-1-1. But we'll see what happens. And Sheth's going to come up with the Zerglings just to have a poke around, pick off what he can, see what Drewbie's up to. Of course, he won't have a huge issue holding this off, but it does give him an idea of what Drewbie's doing. Sheth now knows that Drewbie's got this expand up, so he has the options of trying to get in and do some extra early pressure, or just deciding, hey, there's not going to be any early pressure coming anytime soon, so maybe I'll just macro up a bit. I'll just pump out drones, get a good economy, and then try and overwhelm him later on. So we'll see what Sheth decides to do. Drewbie starting up some Hellion production. What's he going to be going for? Is he going to be getting the blue flame? And yes, he is. So maybe he's going to be going for mech. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe a heavy mech play, but no, we do have Marines coming down. So it's possible early push. Is it Tech Labs? Yes, so we're probably going to see an early push which involves blue flame and Marauders, and it's very hard to hold off unless you have an insane amount of Zerglings, spine crawlers up. It's very difficult to hold off. Sheth coming in with some early aggression right now. He knows that Sheth can't have a whole lot of units because he got that command center up. He has got his wall finished off. This could do a lot of damage right now. Getting a nice, no, he doesn't quite get the strand off on the Hellion. He's going to be able to pick off a few SCVs now. What's Drewbie going to do? He's got to get rid of these Zerglings now. He's going to lose a lot of downtime on the economy. And Sheth runs into a wall and gets picked apart, but he did manage to do a fair amount of economy damage first. See how many we got down. Oh, only 3 workers down, so it looked worse than it actually was, and he traded 28 Zerglings for it, so probably wasn't the best trade. Could have gone better, but Drewbie just extremely good with that micro, pulling his SCVs away. And Sheth continuing into Zergling production. Is he going to possibly go for extra pressure again? We see evolution chambers coming down, or is he just going to be happy to hold the tower, play it safe, just defend up while he gets his 3rd in place as well? Nice play from both players. We've got a Roach Warren coming down, so Sheth is expecting some early aggression with these Hellions. He doesn't know that, well, now he knows that blue flame's there as that Zergling gets barbecue fried by the driving barbecue. Sheth may struggle to deal with this right now. Zerglings get killed so fast by blue flame Hellions. Smartly bringing his queen out just for a little bit extra pressure as he drags across to the 3rd hatchery. Drewbie now knows that 3rd hatchery is there, and I imagine we may see some early pressure from him to try and deal with that. Sheth has his roaches coming out just in time, and roaches are just so good against Drewbie, and he's going to use these to push these Hellions as far back as he safely can. They are very, very slow roaches, but that's okay. You see the Baneling nest is up. Sheth's looking all in all in a very solid position. Macro hatch coming down as well, so he's going to be 4 hatcheries pumping out units. We see Drewbie beginning to get up a command center. He's got his first tank out, so he's not in a bad position. We could be seeing some aggression in the next maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Depends if he's going to want to decide to wait for all his upgrades, wait for his combat shields. He'll wait for his stim, obviously. Or whether he's going to just push out once he gets maybe 2 medevacs. But he's deciding to go for some drop aggression. Good play. While LiquidSheth's being forced to split himself over three bases. He said, well, you're gonna take 3 bases. I'll start dropping. I'll turn up everywhere. That's okay. Now he does have queens, he does have Zerglings around the place, but he hasn't got any Banelings, which can make dealing with this very effective. He decides to pull his drones off the mineral line, which is smart. Stops the Marines getting their numbers up straight away. Pick a few off really early, and that was really well done. Sadly, Sheth did lose a queen, so smart option by Drewbie just to burn that queen down and then switch out. He should be able to clean this up fairly easily now. Is he going to drop here? Sheth's picking that he's going to the other base, and nice little switch there and decide to drop in here. He is going to lose most of his Marines, all but 1. And in the same time, we have a nice push coming in here. Very good work by Drewbie, pulling the units back, poking here with a couple of blue flames and some Marines, and he's just going to barbecue everything in here very quickly. But cleaned up nicely from Sheth, deciding to pull the drones and split this thing into 2, and Sheth manages to pick off a tank as well, which is so important. Tank numbers you do need to keep low against a Terran player, otherwise your life gets very difficult. And Drewbie adding on extra reactor Marines, and just at this stage staying on 1 factory by the look of it. We'll be seeing if he decides to add further onto that. He's just got the reactor coming down for extra medevac production, maybe a couple of Vikings as well. We'll see where he decides to go. And looks like Drewbie is deciding to set up defences, get himself in a comfortable position. Still no combat shields, it's almost up, so once that comes up, Drewbie is going to be in a very advantageous position. It's very hard to try and kill a lot of Marines with shields if you're good at micro, and anyone at this level has generally got pretty solid micro. Sheth deciding at this stage he's just going to keep upgrading his melee and armor. Still no lair. Yeah, there's a lair. Of course there is. It's going +2. We see +2 on the way from Sheth and melee, and 1 for range, and 1 for melee, 2 for armor, and 1 coming up for range now as well. So Drewbie now on 3 bases, which gives him a very comfortable position right now. The Terrington player can of course last for a very long time, and at the same time we're going to see a little drop coming in here, which could leave. He's got enough units to deal with it. Does he see it in time, or is he going to lose a lot of drones? 1 goes down, just the 1 drone by the look of it, so wasn't the best payoff, but that's alright. Just keeps a lot of pressure on the ZASG player, pins them to their base. They can't push out that hard, and you end up stuck in situations like this where, well, I can't actually do anything. So you're forced to just sit back and wait until you get Mutalisks up, or some decent way of dealing with some of this aggression. Is he going to be going for Mutalisks, or maybe maybe drop play? He has got Overlord speed. He is upgrading drops, so whether he's going to be going for Baneling drops, maybe we will have to wait and see. I love Baneling drops. I really, really hope he goes for Baneling drops. It's probably one of the most enjoyable things to watch, as SCVs explode under a Baneling falling on top of them. And in comes this Reaper. See what's going on. Nice little use of leftover units. Always good to use all units. Gives them an opportunity to just scout around and see what the ZASG player is doing. Of course, makes life difficult when there's a spine crawler sitting in your base already. Drewbie just beginning to push forward slowly. Playing it safely. I think it's a good option. Just slowly push forward your tanks, creep them forward. You don't want any crazy counter-attacks to all of a sudden. But Sheth, of course, does have a monstrous army already. He should not have too much of an issue dealing with this force if he hits it at the right angle. If he lets Drewbie creep in here, kill off the creep, and slowly push forward, he could have some difficulties. Let's see how Drewbie manages this. Is he going to go fast, or is he going to take it nice and slow? Some players like to try to barrel down the door really quickly. The smart Terran player will just creep in with his tanks slowly. Do a drop here, very nice by Drewbie. Bring your tanks forward, makes life very difficult, and Sheth just says, well, let's break it. Sends all his units in, and in come the Overlords with Banelings in them to drop on top of them. Lovely, oh, that's just walked all over the top of Drewbie. That is that really, really hurt. Although the food count doesn't show it, Drewbie lost, I think, every single one of his tanks. At the same time, of course, we have the Terran player picking apart just here. He managed to take down the spawning pool. At this stage, we should probably see Sheth just try and kill everything right now. Do as much damage as he can before he goes back and tries to build a spawning pool, because at the moment, he's going to be in a difficult position. He has to rebuild that spawning pool and try and get back into position. Of course, he can build roaches for now, so he's not too bad a position. It still has his Overlords filled with lovely, lovely Baneling presence. Here we go. Are they going to drop down? Boom! There they go. Bye-bye SCVs. No more pressure from you. No repairing. Of course, Drewbie at this stage is taking massive damage. Sheth managed to clean up the Marines from his base. That used to be a factory. Just a smoking pile of rubble now. And he's just doing huge amounts of damage. Drewbie, well, that sort of explains how everyone feels in a situation like this. Where's my base gone? I did not expect that attack to come. GG. There goes the GG. Well played from Sheth. He just had too much stuff. As Drewbie says, that was a lot of stuff. And that's the way of ZASG. You know, if you don't put enough pressure on, you don't push them early, they're going to mess up, and that's what happens. I think possibly Drewbie should have attacked a bit earlier, been more aggressive with his drops maybe. But either way, Sheth played extremely well, had a really good unit composition, and hit just the right time while Drewbie was trying to get set up rather than letting him get stuck in his place. Well, GG, thanks for watching. This has been another ZASGcast, and come back and check us out in a few more days. Hopefully we'll have another one up. Have a great week.